Hey, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Week in Crime and Policing with Mayo and Mayso. As you can see today, so far, it's just Mayo. Angel went to Florida. I think that's where he was this weekend. And his plane got delayed coming home. So he's probably not going to be joining us. And if he is, he'll probably be joining us at the end of this episode. Like they say in show business, the show must go on. And I busted my butt preparing a whole bunch of stories for today. So I just didn't want to cancel it. But before I go any further, I just want to make sure that the people in the chat, can you hear me? Can you see me pretty good? I'm using a new mic. So let me know if you can hear me. I see Raquel is out there and JoJo's out there. And what can I tell you? Like I said, I got a great show for you. Raquel says, yeah, it sounds great. Mary Goldstein, yes, we can hear you, Marky Mark. Peter Pranzo's in the house. Hi, I got some stuff for you, Peter Pranzo. I'm so excited to show you. If anybody's going to get this stuff today, you'll get it. Milwaukee Civilians in the house. Hey, the show is not only fabulous, but you look fabulous, Mark. Thank you. Thank you so much, Milwaukee Civilian, for rejoining us. They am loving the new show. It's fabulous. Thank you so much. Mary, did I say hello to Mary Goldstein? Hi, Mary Goldstein. JoJo's in the house. Terry Lynn Hellberg. Thank you for joining us as well. So what we're going to do today, since Angel's not going to be here, is we're going to give you an abbreviated show where hopefully I can stretch it out to 45 minutes. But whatever it is, it's going to be great. And I'm going to start off with so as you all know now, I moved to Vegas, and I haven't really been doing much comedy yet. So it gives me like some free time to basically go and do stuff that normal people do instead of just performing stand-up every night. And this week I had a chance to go see Frankie Valli. What I'm trying to think of what hotel it was. Was it at the Westgate? Might have been at the Westgate, yeah. Anyway, wherever Barry Manilow plays, but this week instead of Barry Manilow playing, it was, or on this given night, it was Frankie Valli. And I grew up listening to Frankie Valli. I was at the tail end of the Four Seasons. Maybe I caught a little bit of the Four Seasons, but mostly it was Frankie Valli. And I loved his songs growing up. And so it was a thrill to go see him. He's 88 years old, by the way. That's him on stage right there. And he still looks good, doesn't he? Let me see. I think I got a video for you guys, or I had it here. Damn it. What the hell did I do with it? It might have came off the screen. Hold on one second. Let me see if I have it here. Lacrosse. I'll see if I can get it back for you. But he still moves around pretty good. You know, he starts off a little slow, but then he gets it. He starts once he's warmed up, he starts moving around. He's got a nice backup singers with him too. The new Four Seasons anyway, and it was quite a show for a man of 88 years old to be doing a 2-hour show. It's just unbelievable. I mean, God bless this man. And the beautiful songs that he had and all that stuff. So just give me 1 second, because I just checked right now for some reason, and it looks like Angel trying to get in on cell. Yo, let me in. I don't see you, Angel. I don't see you. Use the other. 1 second. I had sent out a new link because the old one disappeared. I don't know why. And yeah, man, I don't know what. Let me see if I could. What the hell happened to this? I had the Frankie Valli thing here, and it's so annoying that I forgot it. It was on the old link. Something happened with the old link, so I had to recreate a new link. But anyway, here's something else for Peter Pranzo. So not only did I go to see Frankie Valli on Friday night, but Saturday morning was the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Henderson, Nevada, which is pretty close. I live in Henderson, but the parade was pretty close to my house. So I went to check it out, especially since the union that I'm working for right now and doing their social media for was going to have representing there. They're going to be marching there. So I went. I went to I went to march basically and to join my new family, local 872 Layuna. And they had cars on exhibit and on display there. And I had a chance to see this car right here. It was alongside two Bakersfield. Well, this is Pasadena police car, circa maybe you know what? I never bothered to ask. His name is Jay D'Angelo. He's obviously a retired police officer, detective from Pasadena, where he started out. And what a car, huh? Obviously he restored this car. It's so sweet. All the lines are perfect on it. That's the back of it. And what do you think, Peter Pronza? Look at the inside of that. He's got an old-fashioned Coca-Cola nightstick there. He's got a shotgun in the holder. He mentioned that there was an engraving on the bottom of the shotgun, but I couldn't get I didn't think to get a picture. If you look on the seat though, look at that huge box with the antenna coming out of it. That's an old radio. Look at the size of that radio. And that was a handheld radio, I think you took outside of the car because you got your calls. You could see the radio dispatch coming through the dashboard there. But I guess when you got out of the car, you took that one with you. But what a blast, huh? And this is an old-time uniform. In the heat of the night with Carol O'Connor and Sidney Poitier, right? Maybe you can refresh my memory there, but that's the kind of jacket he wore. It comes up waist high. There's a zipper in it. Real sharp-looking jacket. What do you think about that, huh? Let me look at the chat and see what you guys think about that. Isn't it cool? Let me see. I'm texting. Sorry about that. All right, so so that's what I did this weekend. Rod Steiger. Oh yeah, it was Rod Steiger. Oh man, I said Carol O'Connor. Carol O'Connor played him in the TV show. That's what it was. That sheriff. Am I right or wrong on that? I guess I'm pretty. I don't know if the TV show was called that same thing. Yep, we held him on the run plus Coca-Cola stick. 2 clubs. Raquel says, nice. You're getting to do a lot of cool stuff, Mark. I sure am. I'm getting up and about and all around. Hi, Scotty Wagner. So nice of you to join us. Man, I'm so upset that I don't have that. I wanted you to hear him sing, man, and I had it up on here, but like I said, for some reason, the links got screwed up. And I had to recreate another one. I forgot all about it. So let's start off with the stories. This was an interesting week for stories. And talk about weird stories. Check this one out. Chilling discovery. Woman finds dead husband in their home months after his disappearance. Turns out the husband killed himself. And he gave his wife a heads up, said he was coming home from work early. She wasn't home. He parked in their driveway. And then when she came home, she saw his car in the driveway and never saw him again. He died in April. He died April 27th. The body was discovered on December 11th by the wife. He was in a closet, and that's where he killed himself. The reason why I hate laughing because, death is not funny. But, obviously the police came over there and they went through the house, but they were hoarders. So I don't know if you've ever been to a hoarder's residence, but it's really, if they really are a true hoarder, it's very, very hard to get around. There's a lot of stuff you got to jump over, and man, give me 1 second, man. I just gotta. Angel's trying to get on and sent. Uh, all right, I resent it. All right, if he can't make it, he can't make it. What could I do? But yeah, he was in the closet, and the reason why she found him on December 11th. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 8 months later, she found him when she was looking for Christmas decorations, which to me also strikes me as funny because I would like to think that if I died or if I just went missing and nobody knew where I was, that my ex-wife wouldn't be celebrating that Christmas. That's I don't know how you guys feel about that, but the Greeks do at least 1 year wearing black. Most Greek wives wear black for the rest of their lives if they don't remarry, and I like that. Ah, I think that's nice. That's respectful. What do you guys think about that, huh? At least 8 months. Well, she's not only because she's gonna celebrate Christmas, but she's looking for decorations. So how much was she really missing this guy? That's what I'm saying. Raquel Pranza says she couldn't have really cared for him if she didn't even look for him. They did look for him, but Raquel, but the police were there. They said they looked everywhere they could, and there was a bad smell. But they chalked that up to the fact that they were hoarders. It smelled like sewage. They said the responding, uh, whoever responded to the house welfare checks and stuff like that, looking for this body. When you are a hoarder, man, it's every nook, every single place is full with stuff, junk. I can't see you, Angel. I can't see you, baby. I wish I could help you. I don't know how to go backstage. Invite. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hold on 1 second. I'm gonna invite Angel. All right. I just invited Angel. He says he's backstage. I don't know what stage he's at, but he's, he's not in the concert hall. So yeah, I hope my comment isn't too offensive. What was the? Let me go back, Raquella. She should use him as a Christmas tree. Yeah, well, you know what happened was too. He stopped smelling. Turns out he was mummified. You see, your body goes to his body advanced beyond decomposition, and eventually was mummified. So once a body's mummified, they don't always have that strong odor anymore, and that's why it took him so long to find him. Um, the house smelled like sewage to begin with, and then even if they did clean up, man, they probably and the fact that she only went into that closet that once in 8 months, I started thinking to myself, is there a closet in my house that I haven't been into in 8 months? I don't know. How about you guys? What a story, man. Poor guy. You would have thought he would have been found right away. What else do we got for you? This guy, this poor guy, police veteran going to child's. This is a veteran, military veteran. He was going to pick up his daughter. He just picked up his two sons. He was going to pick up his daughter. She was at a game, and a drag racer hit his car. He was in his vehicle, this veteran. Drag racer hit him. And the drag racer was going well over 100 miles an hour. And I think I got video of this. They talk about it. Let's see what the news had to say about this.
Street racing continues to be a big problem plaguing police and Nashville neighbors.
We just learned today those dangerous speeds may have directly caused the death of an innocent bystander. Jake Bernhardt was on his way to pick up his kids Monday when police say a street racer driving 100 miles per hour crashed into Jake's car. News Channel 5's Kelsey Gibbs sat down with Jake's girlfriend.
In this situation, it was a tragic accident because someone lost their life to something reckless.
Denise Harris says cars speed down Clarksville Pike all the time.
I really feel like I've seen somebody die before my eyes.
She was not expecting to witness a deadly crash late Monday afternoon.
It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no reason why you should be doing 100 miles per hour down Clarksville Highway.
Car parts, crime scene tape, and tire marks are left at the crash site on Clarksville Pike. But these items are nowhere near as important to what truly was left behind here.
Shattered. Jake was our world.
Jake Barnhart was a partner, father, brother, son, and Army veteran. Unfortunately, the 34-year-old was killed in that car crash.
And this just isn't fair.
Metro Nashville police say surveillance video from the area appears to show 2 people racing one another with speeds upwards to 100 miles per hour. One driver loses control and crossed into other lanes, crashing into 2 other vehicles, including Jake's car. Katie Castle is still in shock. The love of her life is gone.
What a shame, right? It breaks your heart because we've been talking about this this drag racing and how they take the streets over in these towns now, and this is what happens when there's no law and order. Innocent people die, even if it's not through a robbery or a murder, just inadvertently through just people doing stupid things. The reason why there's laws, the reason why they're created is because of tragedies like this. You know, it took a tragedy like this many, many, many years ago to enact a law, a speed limit law, seatbelt law, tailgating laws, all these different laws that come through driving. They all come from accidents. And the people who enforce those laws to try and keep safe roads are police officers. And most of the big municipalities around the country in these blue states are suffering because nobody's taking the job. People are retiring early. People are actually resigning. And as a matter of fact, that made the news this week. Angel shared this with me. He's trying to get in, but I can't help him at this point right now because we are already live. But here's what's going on here with the NYPD. NYPD cops resigning in new year at record-breaking pace with 117% jump from 2021 numbers. And there's a graph here. Resignations in 2023 at this point right now we have 239 resignations. Those are people that are quitting before they reach retirement age. That's up from 176 at last year same time, and then 110 in 2021. People retiring so far, we're talking about 2 months in, we already have 262 people retiring. Last year same time 255, and the year before that 245. And the total attrition is 501 as opposed to so 70 more people. So that's 70 more officers. And you know, this is just January, February, the very beginning of March. And you know, this mayor that you have there right now, Eric Adams, he didn't help at all. People who voted for him were hoping beyond hope that he would make a difference and change the attitude because he was a former cop. But I don't know. He doesn't seem to know how to do it, how to make the job better, and that's probably because he really wasn't much of a police officer when he was on the job. New York's finest are all bailing out because of what they consider anti-cop politics, woke bail, reform policies that make criminal justice a revolving door, and don't forget low wages. You know, as far as I know, the NYPD hasn't had a contract in several years. They have this habit of falling behind in their contracts. It's unlike any other business or any other job that you have. As soon as you have a contract expire, usually you just walk off the job. I know from working in 32B, 32J, which is the hospitality union after I retired, that prior we were almost going on strike, and we got noticed that if they'd call us if the contract wasn't ratified by midnight, and at that point right now, they send you home. So that's exactly what would happen. The contract's expired, you go home. But for some reason, the police departments, they're not allowed to do that. So, and the city government knows this, and they drag their feet. This is well over 3 years now, maybe going on 5. I don't know if Peter knows, but Peter Pranza reopened the jails, mandatory sentences for violent felonies. This guy who got into that drag racing, I know his intention wasn't to kill anybody, but he needs to cool off in jail for, I would say, 25 years. Taking that life. That person has three kids that are never going to see that daddy again, that family. Their primary breadwinner, I would imagine. That's we don't need people like that in the street. Mary Goldstein, he's not even a show pony. He's just a disappointment. Yep. Yeah, big disappointment. People were hoping that maybe he'd be able to straighten out this defund the police stuff and get the respect back to the job. And instead he wastes his time on cockamamie things like which cop is using his phone, and then somebody had to remind him, they're looking at their jobs most of the time on department phones. So now he wants stickers put on all the department phones. So he's still stuck on this phone thing. I would imagine it probably comes from people calling him up, or these are the complaints that he's hearing, that police officers are on their phones. But and it's a very, very tough job, as we'll see right now. We'll come back to this unable to get people to take the job, but just look at what you have to deal with. This kid right here. Video shows crowd cheering while cuffed ex-lacrosse player topples New York City cops runs. Look at the size of this guy right now. This is what you're up against. He's a former lacrosse player that went out drinking in the city. He's from Hamden, Connecticut. He's 20. I think he's like 26 years old now. This kid's a big kid. Just let's see what kind of damage he does on the lacrosse field, and then we'll look at what he's doing to the poor cops here in the city for no reason, really. This is just pure stupidity. This is him on the lacrosse field, by the way. This is his highlight reel from when he was in college. You see him circled right there.
Psychedelic flow, I'm the dope and the antidote. Laid down the street from the package store. What you know? Going back and forth, in and out, moving lateral. Tools like mechanics, taking women for collateral. Put her on the saddle with a paddle and an Adderall. Just trying to straighten it out like loud.
Kid's an animal. He's an animal. Too bad lacrosse it's a legit sport, but if you want to play professionally, there's no place for you to. I think there might be a small professional lacrosse league. I don't know much about it, but once again, this kid he's a big, strong kid, and for some reason he approaches a police car, a marked RMP, and he asks him to use. He asked the officer to use his cell phone, and apparently the officer told him to go fuck off. I don't know who hears this. It's not on a body cam anywhere. There's some assumption that the cop told him to go fuck off, and the assumption could be that he has to use his phone. Whatever it is, I'm assuming the kid is drunk, right? And he's acting a fool. But and he drags these cops on this unnecessary situation.
Enough. I'm taking the car. I'm taking what's going on, bro? Come on, let go. Gangsta. Get off. Get up out of here. Ah! Man, get out of there, bro. Get out of there. Hey, they don't got you. They don't got you. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Get the out of there.
He's pretty strong, right? 2 cops. One cop gets hurt because he hits his head.
Wildin', man. Oh, shit.
It's over. Nah, I feel like, yo, come on, gangsta. Yeah. I feel bad though. He gonna have a
The poor cop landed on his head. He's out cold, unconscious. Luckily, there's a lot of NYPD cops because this idiot gets caught on the very next block. How disgusting is that? This kid wasn't wanted for a crime. He was drunk. He went up. He asked the cops to use his phone, supposedly, and then he starts banging on the cop's window, hitting the car, trying to break the car window. And that's when you see what unfolded afterwards. And no, wait, where is he? That's up the block. A few feet later, he ran right into the hands of other cops that were waiting. They were on their way to help those 2 cops. And this is him in the end. Drunk and foolish, regretting it probably now. His mother made a quote. She sounded like, even though it's just a quote, she sounded like a respectable woman because she wasn't on his side altogether. She says, I don't know all the details, but this doesn't sound like him, and it sounds like he was involved in something really stupid. And that's an old school mom right there. Terry Lynn Helberg, disgusting. I agree with you. What the hell is this world coming to? I mean, this kid could have very easily been on his way home. Apparently, he's got a job. He lives in Connecticut still. He was in the city to see some friends. Probably drank too much and, just temporarily messed up his wife real bad. And those 2 cops, that cop I'm guarantee that cop is concussed because he landed right on top of his head. Little Mermaid, Louisa. Hi, Louisa. Makes me so mad that people are cheering. Yeah, well, it's just stupid people. They see the struggle that's going on. They see the size of this kid. And even though those are 2 strong-looking cops, they still couldn't take him down. You figured somebody might go in there and help some more just so this kid, they get him under control. Scott Wagner, detective, need retrained ASAP. It's hard, Scott, right now. 2 male cops to take down 1 perp, and they got hurt in the process. When you can't put your knee on the back or a chokehold is out of the question, I would imagine in these situations, all you're thinking about is getting jammed up, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. It's just they put us in crazy circumstances. Scott also says this kid needs his ass kicked. That was a total embarrassment. Yep. Peter Pranzo, True Mark, they suck. The young cops in with back pay lump sums. Oh, he's talking about well, we'll go back to that in a second, Peter. But Peter does agree it's been over 3 years. 3 years. So that's what the cops are dealing with, and that's why they're fleeing in droves. Can you imagine your 2 rookie cops? You're doing your patrol in the car, probably on your way to answer a radio call, and in the middle of it, some drunken asshole comes out and wants to mess with you, and then there's people cheering him on, recording it, nobody else helping. I don't know. I agree. Why would anybody? And look at what's going on. This is this guy George. No, his name is Spiro Georgiadakis, and I think he's a former cop. The allure and luster of the NYPD is gone. What he does is he recruits for Florida now. He creates social media posts, and he recruits officers to go work in St. Petersburg, Florida. This is what he has to say. The allure and luster of the NYPD is gone for now. They need to restore that. A former Miami SWAT team officer who helps recruit and relocate New York City cops to Florida departments. Okay, so he was Miami SWAT. He was a cop, not a New York City cop. But what he does is he creates these sort of social media posts, and he gets cops to relocate. Spiro grew up in Queens and wanting to be a member of New York's finest. He runs ads to coax cops to the Sunshine States. We had 4 or 5 New York City police officers reach out last week, he said. They saw the spot, that the social media post, and he gave them quotes on salaries. And a prior former frequent guest on the show, Maki Haberfeld, is a professor at NYU. No, at John Jay Criminal Justice. And she has this to say. When you lose manpower, the first thing that goes are all these novel ideas of correctiveness and preventive policing. She said, which can also help rebuild and fledgling trust between police and the public. So what she's saying is that since they're undermanned, all this hope about retraining and requalifying and doing all these things and building a relationship with the community, it all goes out the window, because now that you're short-staffed, nobody can go for training. Everybody has to be out in the field all the time. Haberfeld said her students who are cops often complain about forced overtime, which she called a horrible idea. Forced overtime can be effective only for a limited period of time before people just start collapsing mentally and physically. You cannot just keep people in forced overtime forever. And that is something I agree with wholeheartedly. I mean, I used to hear those horror stories coming from correction officers getting locked in the prison, not allowed to go home. And I always thank God that I never became a correction officer, because I didn't want to be in that position. I didn't want to be forced to do overtime. If I had something going on at home, how can you be a dad to a family or any responsible to, if you had a sick family member that you were responsible for, and now you can't go home. And when you do come home, it was always with this forced overtime, and you have no choice but to go to sleep because your RDO, your regular day off, has been canceled. It's just a horrible thing. No wonder people are quitting. And that's the situation there. We also have a comment from Joe Giacalone, also a frequent guest on Police Off the Cuff in the past, and I also had him on After Hours a couple of times. He was my sergeant when I was on the job and worked in the training unit. At this rate, keeping everyone safe will be a Herculean task, said Joseph Giacalone, a retired NYPD sergeant. The only people that are happy are the cop haters, activists, and defunders. And that's true. They're having a field day with this because they're nonsense. And with social media, the person who screams the loudest seems to be the one that gets the most attention. Not the majority. It's just the person that could scream the loudest. And, media doesn't help at all because they want to find the odd voice, the disagreeing voice, something that's going to sell newspapers. Okay? And that's why you could have 1,000 people commenting on just the incident that we showed with the 2 cops trying to collar this drunk kid. And 1,000 people could say this kid is wrong. He should be in jail. He's spoiled brat from Hamden, Connecticut. And then you'll have one person that says something to the contrary. They'll say something like, "Oh, good for this kid. The cops shouldn't have, whatever they're arresting him for." And then the media will turn it around and just focus on that one comment, just to get your eyes to look at that story, to read it. So we're in a tough spot right now, folks. And doesn't look like it's going to get any easier. Look at this. This is an interesting thing. It's a sad, sad story. This kid, 25 years old, a law student, he was gunned down by police. Why? Moments into a car stop, this sovereign citizen, that's what he claimed he was killed by cops after he was pulled over for an expired license plate a year before son died during an argument over the same issue. Okay, so I'll break this story down for you. These people in Utah, first of all, there's a thing called sovereignty. These people call themselves sovereign citizens. It's a whole group of them. I remember years ago when I was a police officer in the task force, which was in the beginning of my career, so we can go back 30 years. There's been people claiming to be sovereign. As a matter of fact, this particular man and his family, they got a place out in, I guess in the 113, a hotel over there by JFK Airport, and they were going to do a lecture. They were doing a lecture, and they were trying to get people to become sovereign citizens. Now, a sovereign citizen is basically somebody who doesn't want to have anything to do with the United States government. They refuse to pay taxes. They don't want to get their car registered. They don't want to get any type of immunizations. But they're also scammers. They do stuff. They break into homes. They become squatters. Unoccupied homes they take over, and then they put liens on the house. They know their way a lot. Most of them are not only looking for this to avoid paying taxes and any government money, but they also a lot of them are scammers too. And they go. This poor kid's parents looks like a normal family, doesn't it? Looks like a normal family. Mom and dad were sovereign citizens, and they raised their kids in this nonsense. So now this kid is driving around with this it's not even a expired license plate. It's not even this is a license plate that these people create. They make it on their computer at home. Utah American citizen. And it says notice a private automobile not for hire. And that's what they put on their car. And they're just basically calling out, begging to be pulled over. So this kid gets pulled over, and he refuses to identify himself. He won't roll his window down past an inch or two. And he also refuses to get out of the car. And when they're going to forcefully take him out of the car, he's got a gun right there in the driver's seat with an empty holster. And the gun falls to the floor. And that's when the cops yell out, gun, 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 and he gets killed. The worst part of this story is that the mother got pulled over with the same stupid license plate less than a year before. And in that situation, the cop who was there, he reached out for help and says, what should I do with this lady? She's got one of these plates on the car. And whoever's giving him advice is, don't take her out of the car. Just write her the summonses, and that's it. So she got let go with two summonses worth $100. This other cop that pulls up her son over, he, instead of going over and asking, what should I do? How should I handle this? He calls for backup. He's realized this is going to be a situation. And before you know it, there's 3 or 4 cops there. And we'll go to the videotape. It's not pleasant, I'll tell you that. So get ready.
For driving without a registration, but he won't give cops any information, claiming they have no jurisdiction over him.
You are lawfully required to identify yourselves.
He refuses to get out of the vehicle, so they try to pull him out. That's when one officer sees a gun.
Step out of the car. Gun.
In a hail of bullets, 25-year-old Chase Allen is killed. Now we're learning that he's from a family of so-called sovereign citizens. And in an extraordinary turn, his mother was pulled over last year for the same offense. No registration.
The reason I stopped you today is your registration's expired.
Like her son, Diane Allen is uncooperative from the get-go.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Would you be able to roll down the window a little bit?
But she does hand over a passport, and look closely. She also gives him a pocket-sized Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. The officer calls his supervisor for advice.
I have stopped a constitutionalist. She says she's not operating under a driver's license.
But this stop ends quite differently. The officer is advised to give her a ticket and nothing more.
You know, is it worth pulling her out of her car and arresting her for failure to identify? No, probably not. Just cite her for whatever violation she has. Just hand it to her and be on your way.
And that is what he does. Diane Allen ended up suing the Farmington, Utah Police Department over the traffic stop. Her son was actually with her when she made a court appearance, and things did not go smoothly. You can hear them freak out in court when an officer tried to restrain Chase.
Let him go, right now. Let him go. This is battery of assault. This is treason.
Rick Ross has studied the sovereign citizens phenomenon.
Typically, there are whole families that are sovereign families. And so the parents are sovereign citizens. They raise their children to believe intensely in this. We're talking about.
Imagine pulling your children into this kind of nonsense where you know right off the bat, I'm going to get my young children involved in incidents regarding the police. That's the last thing that I would ever do to my children. Teach them something that's going to put them in harm's way with the police or with anybody for that matter. The whole thing is disgusting. It just goes to show you how stupid people are. Now there's a mom without her son. And, you know, she's the only person to blame. They can go around blaming whoever they want. And what is this all about anyway? To save a couple of dollars a year on registering your car or paying taxes to the government? This is the life that we live. If you don't like this one, move to another country. Rather than put your kids in harm's way. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it makes me sick to my stomach. Anyway, look at how fast the time goes, man. This is like the fastest hour. I want to see if I have any more stories left here. Oh, this lady, don't ever do this either. Woman charged with stealing $246,000 in pension payments to dead dad. Dad was a Long Island police detective, Nassau County, I'm pretty sure. Police detective. He retired in like 1991. And then he died in 2017. So at least he had a chance to enjoy his pension. But his daughter never reported his death to the pension section. So she just kept receiving his pension, which I figured out was probably like $49,000 a year. And because if he retired in 1991, and she wound up buying a house in Georgia. Look at this. Look at this beautiful house. A Mercedes. Now, I don't know for sure, you know, how much of dad's money went into getting an a loan okayed for this house, which is 5-bedroom, by the way, and a Mercedes. But it's pretty short-sighted because, you know, if you're going to do something like this, they're going to die eventually. No, you know, even if they didn't check on you until the person was 100 years old, somebody's going to come and check. And then if they died 25 years ago, you're going to be responsible for paying restitution for all that money that you stole. You know, my father passed away. He didn't have much of a pension. It was from a cable company that I worked for, and it was like $300 a month. And I didn't know anything about it, but I do know that I was on his bank account, and I had a family member that used to help my dad, and they had access to that account as well. And luckily we went to the videotape and we found them withdrawing money. Otherwise that would have been on me. But once I found out through a piece of mail that came from my dad that he was still receiving this pension, I called him up. I canceled it right away. And then we did an investigation and found out which family member was the one that was still taking my dad's benefits. We'll just leave it at that. So that poor lady, she's I doubt she's going to lose the house, whatever, since 2017. What has she got? She's got 5.5 years. at least 5.5 years of payments that she's going to have to make due on. I hope she's got some money in the bank. Anyway, folks, we're nearing the end here. Let me just see if there's any. See, I can't believe how quick this hour went, man. I think I covered with Angel here. We would have talked a little bit more, and I'll show you the Frankie Valli video. If you're in the area and you live in Vegas and you're a fan of the show, check this out. There's a car show on where is it? It starts at 10 a.m. and it's at the Veterans Memorial Park, 1650 Buchanan Boulevard in Boulder City. And that's where you'll see that pretty police car that I showed you earlier. I can't see a date here, and I am looking. And I've looked at 1,000 flyers. I don't see a date here. Anyway, but I'm trying to, it's the man. Oh, it's the IPOF in Vegas. You register online. It's the IPOF.Vegas, and they do all the car shows in Vegas. And I have a show coming up this Saturday at the Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. And it's 11:30 show. I don't know how I'm going to stay up that late. Frankie Valli was the latest night that I stayed up here. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't believe it. After going out to dinner after Frankie Valli. That was the latest that I've been up here. So before I go, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry Angel couldn't be here today. And let's just do a parting roll call. Jojo, thank you for tuning in. What do you say? This hour always goes by so fast. Yeah, well, it wasn't really an hour. Today was only 45 minutes, but we'll probably get closer to 50 minutes, but it went really, really fast. Raquel, she says, I love Jimmy Kimmel. Well, if he's there that night, I'll tell him you said hi. I'll take a picture with him. Okay. Mary Goldstein, thanks for a great show. Marky Mark, thank you, Mary Goldstein, for tuning in. Louisa, she says, I wish I could make it. It's only 3.5 hours for me. Yeah, I wish you could make it too. I'm going to get a little closer to you, Louisa. I'll definitely let you know and have some tickets waiting for you at the door. Who else do we got? Peter Pranzo. I'm sorry I didn't have the video for Frankie Valli this time, but I'll have it next Monday. And just so you guys know, I'm starting to get the hang of this over here. I got a new speaker. If you can see it over here, this is top notch. This is top notch. This is big time show business right here. And I'm starting to hook it up. I got this other piece over here that I had to get from my Mac. Mac is weird. They're always adding something to the machines here. You know, you buy a MacBook Pro, the same plugs don't work. It's like, what the hell you always have to buy something else. But I'm getting all this stuff. I got a business card for the company, and building up their podcast, and I'm learning about the behind the scenes, the engineering aspect of it. And we're gonna be putting together editing some shows I'm gonna do, and we're gonna put them on Instagram, little clips of me and Angel. And we're gonna boost up. We're gonna get the people, new followers, new subscribers. But you guys will always be my favorite because you hung with me the most and the longest. And I love you guys. And I wish you guys a great week. And what else can I say except for hopefully Angel will be here next week. I know he tried to get on, and I couldn't help him because I was already chatting with you guys. But enjoy your week. God bless. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Monday. And all the best to you. Bye-bye.